of his remarks here. So
Okay,
take it away, Chet.
are we, have we got our members on right now, Eric?
Yes.
We do, great. Well, I tell you, it's wonderful, absolutely wonderful to share the latest with our membership. And we all appreciate your taking the time to join us. Unfortunately, this format is nowhere near as personal as we really aspire to be. Um, the last time we were able to be together as a group, as you recall, many of you were there. We were in the Eckerson Tower, and it was just a great evening. I remember leaving, thinking about the camaraderie and the spirit, and most importantly, remember the expectations, that we had at that time with regard to the renovation of the course. Um, Motivated us in the last 2 years. We've been executing, putting things in place. And the slide that Eric has up there now, and the one he had, maybe some of you saw it a little earlier, is truly reflective of the quality, the stature, the detail, and the pride that we all take in this vision that's become a reality. So I want to thank all of you right out of the blocks for your encouragement, participation. We asked you for some support in achieving our fundraising goals, and you did that. You stepped up and you became part of the solution to the project that we had launched, as a team. The group in particular that must be recognized is the leadership contingent. Those are the Friends of Navy Golf. Admiral Moss and Bill Cobb visited with us years ago, and not only did they talk about the vision for the course, but they talked about their vision in support of the varsity golf teams and the midshipmen. We put together a document with regard to fundraising, all of our ambitions, and one by one, we've checked those boxes and we've advanced the cause in a way that not only are we flourishing with this magnificent facility, but we're flourishing with some really outstanding recruited midshipmen that are part of our varsity men and varsity women's team. Can't happen without resources, and they've been the catalyst in many respects with regard to the enthusiasm we have for the raising of the funds and providing those resources. It's been a long time coming. Some of you might remember 10, 12, lost track of time, 15 years ago, maybe, when we met and we talked about the way ahead. Um, Justifiably so. There was some doubt in the room for years to come. There was some doubt. But in the inner group, the administrative team that stayed tight and stayed focused, we were motivated every time we talked to and every time we met with our architect, Andrew Green. Andrew never let up. From that very first meeting, when we launched the concept, he would remind us constantly of what a jewel the course could be if we just put our minds to it and put everything in place in a manner that would take this course to one of the finest in the Mid-Atlantic. So Andrew Green, who will speak to us in a few minutes, has really been a inspiration. When you talk about a captain of the team, when times are tough, when things may not be going your way, there's some adversity, you need someone to step in, pull a team together, huddle up, and say, listen, we can get this done. And every time we got together, Andrew led with that message, and it motivated us constantly to aspire to be where we are today. The design kept evolving. Andrew will speak again, but his vision revolved around bringing us back to its roots. William Flynn, his vision. And I know that there have been some deviations and some modifications to that original design, but they've been in the spirit of creating an environment that's challenging, that's logical, that improves the play, that there's rationale behind those decisions. And it also changes the course in a manner that allows us now to open the door to those big time varsity golf teams that now are very anxious to come back to Annapolis, visit this beautiful city, play this challenging course, and make this again one of the centers, focus centers of college golf again in the Mid-Atlantic. So we're really excited about just the way it's come together, and I'm really appreciative of your patience, because in the end, the proof is in the bottom line. We expect to win, and we won. Now it's not over. We still have ambitions for some of the other projects that have been in the periphery, and that includes the driving range. Eric will talk about that. We've just raised the money lately, supplementally, through the generosity of our alumni and parents, to completely renovate the indoor practice facility adjacent to the pro shop. So we're in the midst now of that entire renovation indoors, in addition to the Grenade Center, which is completed. Some of you may have seen in the last couple of days the wonderful van that was donated again by the parents and some alumni to support the team, a Navy golf van, which will be used by both the men and the women. So we are far from the goal line. We're far from finished. We are going to continue to address, whether it be the maintenance, cart barn, Pat will talk about new carts, a food and beverage location, locker rooms, upgraded locker rooms for the membership, and anything else that we think will complement, where we are today. The mission, like I mentioned, is a top course. It is to challenge you, to instill pride in what we have here, effectively serve our membership, and it also, not to be ever minimized, but recruit outstanding scholar athletes to the United States Naval Academy with the wide range of outstanding facilities that we have. So what I'd like to do is ask members of our administrative group just to say a few words and bring us through an agenda of some topics that I think you'll find enlightening and interesting. First, I want to introduce Katie Vonderheide. Katie has taken Amanda Gates's place, and you remember Amanda was just a wonderful addition to the staff. She came out with a plan to improve the membership by virtue of numbers, increase. She was administrative. She helped us manage the development activities with regard to fundraising. And then Amanda, after a number of years, is facing some new challenges and excited about this new professional avenue that she's taken. But it's allowed us to attract and to recruit a wonderful lady, a local Annapolitan, Katie Vonderheide, who's taken over Amanda's position. And I've asked Katie to just put together some thoughts to share with you, what her objectives are, what her responsibilities will be, so that you'll have a better handle on who to go to when you might have some questions. So Katie, if you could kick in, we'd really appreciate it.
Sure, sure. Yeah, as Chet said, I'm your new director of membership. I know I've met some of you, and I do look forward to meeting the rest of you as the season progresses. A little background about me: I've been in Annapolis about 16 years. My husband and I used to own a kayak business here in Annapolis. We had it for about 13 years, then we sold it, and that's how I got here. And I'm here for you, for our team, for our members. I'm very excited to be part of the Naga team. As Chet was saying, there's so much pride here, and for good reason. It's actually making my job a little easier to walk into something that's nicely and fully renovated. So I'm very excited about all of that. As he was saying, I'll be your primary contact. So any type of questions, concerns, feedback, ideas, please reach out to me, and I will always try my hardest to respond quickly and hopefully accurate information. You know, I have a long list of things I want to accomplish. A couple of my roles are maybe implementing some new innovative membership programs, new functions, events for our members, but that's just a couple. I've got a long list, and I'm very excited to start it. And I'm very excited to be part of this team. Everyone's been so welcoming and helpful. It's very refreshing, and I appreciate everyone already. I also wanted to thank everyone for giving their questions beforehand. That allowed us to kind of sit down and go over a few things. Obviously, we can't get to all the questions, but Pat and Eric and I went over, and we saw some reoccurring questions. So that's what we'll address tonight. But if you think of anything else or have any other concerns, please email me, and I'll get a personal answer to you right away. But once again, I'm very excited to be here, and I really look forward to this season. And yeah, I think Pat might be next. I'm not sure.
That's right, Katie, but Katie's full-time, so she's going to be available to the membership with her support services. So it's, and you can see from her enthusiasm that she's ready to tackle the job and make sure that you have the information that you need. So Katie, again, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We're really impressed with the impact you've already made on the Naga group. Thanks so much. Let's hear a little bit from Pat and Nadia, our varsity golf coaches. And of course, Pat is the director of golf. And Pat, we really appreciate everything you do. You're absolutely a star. Everyone knows it. And thanks tonight for sharing some thoughts.
Well, thank you, Chet, and thanks to all the members for taking the time to join us this evening. It's easy to look like a star when you've got a bunch of stars around you. So we have a wonderful group of members and a terrific venue now, and it's a real privilege to serve as both the golf professional and the golf coach to the Naval Academy men's golf team. It's also a privilege to work on a daily basis with folks like Eric David and Colleen Jordan and her team at the business office, Katie, who's a wonderful new addition, and of course, Andrew Green, who we are still, primarily Eric, but we're still in contact with all the time, and is always willing to take a seat and listen to what our concerns are and try to work towards solutions. As the warm season approaches, which today was pretty nice, we're excited about some of the new offerings and improvements that we're implementing to provide better service to the membership moving forward. And the first thing I'd like to talk about, Chet mentioned briefly, is thanks to Chet in the business office, we have engaged a vendor to provide us with 60 brand new golf carts later this spring. So we are going to have Club Car, which is a different brand. For years, we've had Easy Goes. Club Car is a step up. That's an entirely new level for golf cars for us. And some of the features, as you can see on this slide, are going to include the VSIG GPS screens. And I'm sure most of you are familiar with that from when you played at other courses that offer these. If you look at the screen where it says 290 yards, you'll see a map of every hole. You'll see distance to the middle of the green, distance to hazards and bunkers, and that sort of thing. And another great feature of these golf carts is that because of the GPS programming, we will be able to release golf carts more frequently on days that follow heavy rain the night before. So if we get 2 inches of rain, or excuse me, Eric, an inch of rain on Thursday night, previously we might have said no carts on Friday, and we may have had 150 people on the tee sheet. Well, now we will still be able to have golf carts go out, but Eric will be able to implement some traffic controls on them to protect the golf course as well. So that's a win-win for everybody there. Speaking of wear and tear on the golf course, I just want to take a moment to thank several of our members who came out earlier this month and spent multiple hours filling in divots on the fairways. It was a great thing to do, and we're going to try to continue that program as the season goes along. But I'm not going to mention everybody by name, but the one member who got the ball rolling for us was Gordon Woody, and we have to thank you, Gordon, for recruiting a team and just taking the lead on that. Thank you so much. Some of the questions that came up with regard to the golf shop or the pro shop and the golf course have to do with the tee time system and reserving tee times. So a couple of questions that were forwarded to us said, hey, the tee sheet is always full, and it's full within 1 minute of it being released. And that was the case last year. And there are multiple factors that we think contributed to it. But what we did over the winter was we contacted several golf courses in the on the East Coast, really, and said, hey, what are you guys doing to alleviate some of that pressure for tee times? So for example, last year, as everyone on this meeting knows, at 4 o'clock, the sheet became available, and by 4:01, we were sold out. Well, part of that had to do with, I'm sure, the pandemic and folks working from home, but the changes that we made over the winter that we hope will positively affect that are we stretched it to a 2-week window. So now anybody who's a member, a full-time member at Naga, can reserve a tee time 2 weeks in advance, beginning at 7 p.m. And the feedback that I've received personally so far has been all positive. Folks have said it just seems to have lessened the demand a bit, and it gives people a chance to plan a bit more ahead, and it just seems to be working better for whatever reason. So that's one thing that we've done. Another thing that we really just accomplished this week is, as you know, we did not have guest play on weekends and holidays before 12 o'clock. That was one of the things that we did to ensure that members could get on the golf course on weekends and holidays. So the system was set up so that it was not apparent that there were all members playing before noon. Well, that's now been changed. So you as a member, when you go into the tee time system and you go to reserve a group or reserve something for yourself on a weekend or holiday, you'll no longer have that guest privilege even available on weekends and holidays. So we think that's going to be a wonderful improvement, and it will free up more times for members. That's our goal, is to get more members on the golf course. So we hope that works well. Katie didn't really touch on the number of members that we had, but that was another hot topic that people forwarded to us with questions. And the answer to that is we have about 500 annual members, give or take. And that the membership right now is capped off. So we're not currently letting new members in. I think as things settle down and the advisory committee and the business office and Chet take a look at things, they may consider some additional members. But right now, things are on a freeze. And for civilian memberships, and we have quite a few civilian members that have friends that are interested in joining, those people can get on a wait list, but the civilian membership application is such that a current member has to obtain it and nominate someone for a membership. So that system will be very consistent, and you just reach out to Katie and she can help walk you through it to get somebody on the wait list. Okay. Food and beverage, Phil Allison and the folks at Naval Academy Business Services Division are going to help us again this year with the club at Greenberry Point across the street near the driving range. They're going to open up in just a couple of weeks, and they'll be open through November with service 6 days a week. I believe they will be closed on Mondays. There'll be a beverage cart on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So very similar schedule to last year, and it seemed to work well. So we hope you all will take advantage of that. Okay. The last thing that I would like to talk about, and I saved the best for last because this is something that's near and dear to me, is the golf team. And our golf team, like all the Brigade of Midshipmen, were shut down from athletic activities for close to a month earlier this spring. Thanks to the efforts of Chet and the senior leadership, we're now practicing every day. We're competing. We've got 2 tournaments under our belt. We travel to West Point, not this weekend, but the following weekend to pick up another N-Star for the Academy. And then at the end of the month, actually May 1st and 2nd, we host the Men's Patriot League Championship. And we hope that all of our members will come out and support the team and watch some wonderful golf. If you have any questions about the tee time system or the way that things function on a daily basis at the golf shop, please email Katie and copy me, and we'll do our best to resolve that challenge for you as quickly as possible, or give you a good reason why we can't resolve your particular question. Thanks very much, everybody. Go Navy.
Thanks,
And
Pat.
next up,
Nadine,
well, Chet, back to you.
all right. Nadine, you ready? You're muted. You're muted. There you go.
I think, is Nadia going to speak real quick?
Yes,
Yes,
I
you
just
gotta get
unmuted
Nadia
myself.
Okay.
All right. Well, as everyone said, I mean, we are so appreciative. Our programs have benefited so much from all of the support that we've had from alumni, Fong, and obviously some really supportive members as well. We hosted our first tournament on the course last weekend, and as I feel like we're a little bit biased about our golf course and love it and think that it's the changes and the renovation are just incredible. But the feedback from the coaches that did come to visit was also extremely positive, and most of them had been here in the past. So it was fun to see, to get their feedback, and again, extremely positive and very optimistic with the future, and in the maturity of this golf course is just only going to make it better. So we're excited about where we are and where we're going, and without the support of Fong and both admirals and their passion and desire and vision, we wouldn't be here. So again, super grateful. But as you can see, we do have some new wheels that our teams are going to be able to use. I know Pat's team used them a couple weekends ago to go to an event, and it's a huge benefit for the programs due to the fact that we travel with a lot of equipment, golf clubs being quite big. And sometimes our other vans were not always suited for all of the stuff that we have to travel with. So this has been something that came from great support from some of the parents of the programs, and also, again, huge alumni and great supporters to be able to assist in funding this amazing van, and also the indoors, as well as all the other stuff we've already seen, and obviously the upcoming changes on the driving range. As I've said, this is a great time to be part of Navy Golf. It is just such a positive environment in spite of everything else that's going on. It's just a lot of fun and a blessing to be able to have all of what we have to help our teams get ready for tournaments. And the weather these last few days has just been amazing. So we appreciate everyone's support. It was fun to see members come out this past weekend, keeping their distance, obviously, but showing some support in spite of what Mother Nature had in store for us, which was not great weather. It was extremely cold. And again, it's really heartwarming to see the support from our membership. And I'm sure that Pat will have that for certain during the Patriot League Championship. So we appreciate everything that you guys do for our programs and the support. And again, it's a great time to be part of Navy Golf, and we thank you all for everything that you do.
Thanks, Nadia. Great job, and appreciate the wonderful way you've brought our women's program along, aspiring to be a champion every year. And now we're playing for championships every year. Nadia actually is our first coach. And the way she's developed that program over a short period of time just brings a tremendous dimension of pride and appreciation. So keep up the great job, Coach. Appreciate you, and Pat, you as well. Now, the man that's running the controls, so to speak, who keeps us on track and of course keeps it all green, is Eric David. So Eric, how about a little bit about what's happening as our superintendent?
All right, welcome everybody to the second virtual annual meeting. Hopefully we'll be able to get together next year. I really enjoyed doing that and seeing everybody. But for now, this is working pretty well. And I just want to give you guys kind of a quick update, kind of what we've been doing, what we're gonna try to do this summer. And this is the first year that we're not starting out under construction. We obviously have the driving range, but it's kind of nice to get a start on the golf course. And I know for the members to be able to just come out and start playing, as a ramp up instead of, being under construction. So it's a lot of fun to see the golf course kind of get started and get going and getting everybody, excited, and especially like this week with the great weather and everything. So let's go over a few things that we're doing. We're constantly working out there. This is, there's some drainage, areas on the golf course that we still have to work on, which we knew would be, areas that we'd have to focus on down the road. We didn't want to just throw drainage in all over the place. We're kind of trying to target things. As you can see, number 3, the top photo there was quite a, after some of the grading and movement of soil for the renovation, areas that didn't have drainage issues before, had drainage issues later. And it's hard to predict those things until you kind of get a season. So right there, we actually threw a drain right in, connected into the bunker drain that comes out of that bunker on 3. And you really can't tell it's there. It's working really well. 11, same thing, left side and around the back of that approach. We wanted to wait on some of the approaches because some of them have not been as bad as we thought. We wanted to wait for the grass to kind of mature and grow in and see if we had a problem. And if we have a problem, kind of like we did on 11, we'll address it. So we've thrown some drainage in there on 11, and we'll kind of continue to pick areas out as we go around and see, verify area by area what we're going to do. The fairways, I want to talk a little bit about this because this was this was the biggest change on the golf course. And what I mean by that is it's really the only grass that we did out here that that hadn't been proven all over the place, as a proven grass, I would say taking a gamble, but we went out with the latest and greatest, being, as you can see, one of 50 properties in the country with this grass, including the Philadelphia Eagles, practice facilities at Liberty National, Congressional. It's big in the sports turf world. There's a lot of places. Towson and University uses it for baseball fields. So it's a very versatile grass. We're one of the few golf courses that use it, and because it's on a large scale. And so far, it's done really well. We had a little bit of breakthrough with some annual grasses there. We had a tough February. We weren't able to get out and make a couple of our applications that probably would have cleaned it up. Most of the stuff you see up there in the top right, that's actually divots. So if someone took a divot, it broke through some of the application we made in September, causing the grass to come through. Now, if anybody have been out there, these pictures are probably 2 weeks old. It is much greener than that now. And I would anticipate in the next couple weeks, the grasses that you see within that Bermuda, you won't see anymore. And by, maybe May, it will have taken over. So we're in good shape. In fact, the picture at the bottom left there is actually, that is May 2nd. That is Bermuda grass growing in Annapolis, May 2nd, or I'm sorry, March 2nd. So March 2nd, we have Bermuda grass growing in Annapolis, which is a very, very odd. It's not, and it wasn't so much a weather thing, because I went back and looked at our weather, records and the data. It's just, this stuff is really good at greening up early, and as you guys saw last year, staying green into December. So, we're looking at doing a couple more things with this Tahoma 31. We're gonna do the driving range as Andrew touched on, so that way we have a consistent driving range tee is consistent with the fairways. I'm really excited about this stuff. It's going everywhere. I know if you pay attention to grass like me, because I'm a nerd about it, it's all over the place. Some big time, professional facilities and stuff, especially in the football area, are getting into this stuff. So it's kind of cool to have it on the golf course. One of the other things we're doing, talked about in one of my updates, is doing a little bit more environmental stewardship on the golf course, and that includes milkweed. We're planting some milkweed. We're doing a couple different varieties. We have some common milkweed out there that we always leave and let kind of propagate. We don't mow it, we don't remove it, we don't spray it, we don't do anything to it. And I've seen some monarchs out there. Now we're actually going to try to go and get more out there. We're purposely going to try to push the milkweed to get some more pollinators and some more butterflies out there. So up at the top, we're growing some in our shop that we're going to plant. And the stakes that you see out of the golf course are just color coded different varieties, just so we can kind of keep track of what varieties we have, what's growing, what's not, just to give us an idea of what we're kind of doing out there. We have an Eagle Scout coming out in June. I think he's getting his proposal together. He's going to come and repair the bird boxes and replace a few of them. We'll probably have like 25 bird boxes out on the course in different areas. So he's really excited about it. We're excited to have him out there. Him and his troop. Couple days they'll be out there, and there'll be bird boxes everywhere. And then the last thing we're doing now at the bottom there, we're gonna do some a honeybee habitat. We'll have 2 setups like that. They'll be to the right side of 12, out of the way of members and away from play. A professional beekeeper that will take care of them. I am as excited to learn about them as putting it all in. I don't really know anything about it. So, I have a professional coming in, and he's going to take care of them and get them going. So we'll probably be starting that in the beginning of May. It's kind of a good time to get the hive going, and we'll see what we can do. See if we can get a pollinator garden and butterflies and bees all over, just to keep the environmental initiative going. We won our award for the environmental stewardship of the renovation, and we think it's just a great thing that we can do on the property that we have, and it doesn't affect golf. That's the thing. It doesn't hurt the golf course. It doesn't change anything. It's just kind of working with the natural environment and the golf course together. So we're excited about that. And then one last thing I want to say is I have a really good staff. A lot of you guys know them. Jamie, Galvin, Chris Thayer, and Steve Smith are my assistants, and they do a great job. And one of the guys that lots of people don't hear about or know about is Mike Gray, and he's our equipment technician, and he has done his equipment certification. So it's a high-level certification nationally that's done, and there's only 46 guys that have done it so far, and it is it's a lot of tests and study and work to basically show that he has what it takes to be the top level technician. And without him, our facility can grind quickly to a halt. He takes care of everything. That's all the mowers, all the equipment. He fabricates, he manufactures, all the water fountains that were out there. He's a quasi plumber. He installed those. He's a carpenter. He can pretty much do anything we ask. Always has a smile on his face. Always willing to do anything for anyone. I mean, he even comes out, he mows fairways most mornings when we need an extra fairway mowing guy. So I just wanted to highlight that because, without these guys, I can't do my job. I can't do, the course would not be what it is without each and individual. And, I think Mike's commitment to his profession really shows that we have a really outstanding team out here. And, that gives me confidence, that other people, gives everyone confidence that we'll be able to take care of the beautiful renovation that we were able to do and the property that we have, having good people like him. So other than that, I think we're excited about the season. We're really ready to get everybody out there and get moving and just have a great season. So they said Andrew will speak a little bit more about the driving range, and that's all I have. So Colleen's up next.
Thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it. Colleen's going to give us a little bit of an overview of the finances so that everyone has a pretty good idea of, the commitments that we're making and the costs. And of course, now that we've renovated the course, we all have a keen interest and obligation to provide Eric with what he needs to sustain this first-class facility. We knew that on the front side before we renovated it, that Eric would need, whatever it takes. And Colleen's got a little bit of some insights in where we're headed. So Colleen, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Chet. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Colleen Jordan. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Naga, and I have a great team behind me as well. And it's Jessica Kennedy and Nancy McMahon. Many of you may have talked to Nancy McMahon. She does all of our billing, and Jessica comes in and does our invoices as well. So, and our financial statements. So I got a great team, and we're all located at Ricketts. So Eric, can you move ahead? I want to hit the balance sheet. So we are getting ready to have our annual audit. Our year end is 12/31, and our audit will be beginning at the end of this month. And then we issue audited financial statements. So this is a snapshot. This is our balance sheet. This is a snapshot where we stand as of 12/31/2020. And just to bring to your attention, I'll just bring a couple of things up, is that the $30 that everybody has been assessed for the irrigation is sitting in the irrigation escrow account of $492,000. The loan that we have for the irrigation is $1.1 million. So the escrow helps to pay for the loan, and also we have interest along with that loan. Right now, that loan payable is just the principal. So the $30 assessment is going to pay that down along with the interest expense that's incurred with the principal. So I kind of wanted to bring that up because that's only been sitting on our books for maybe a little over a year. We also have net fixed assets of $7.5 million. These net fixed assets are our fixed assets less depreciation, and those fixed assets include the Grenade Center, as well as all the fairways, the tees, and the cart paths, and any kind of renovation that's been done. And really, the majority of the renovation really has been done since I arrived about 4 years ago. So all those fixed assets are as an asset sitting on the balance sheet. Over to the liability section, just to bring something else to bring to your attention, is the equipment lease that we have. We lease the equipment, we lease the golf carts, which Pat had mentioned earlier. And Eric had also mentioned, and Chet as well, that we have a lot of equipment in order to keep this new golf course looking the way it does and running well. And we have leases for that. Plus we also have purchased some fixed assets on that. So the leases that we have amount to $145,000 right now. So this is the balance sheet snippet as of 12/31/2020. And we can move on to the income statement. Thanks, Eric. This is the income statement for the year of 2020. The golf rentals and the greens fees were less this year. They're usually much more, but due to the fact that we were closed for a portion of it. It's less than normal. We had a lot of initiation fees this year. This isn't all cash. This is the revenue. So some of our initiation fees for civilians can be paid in over a 3-year period. So we record the entire revenue in the current year that we earn it, but we may not have that cash in hand. Many people did decide to pay over a 3-year period, but a lot of people came in, and as everybody saw, we had to put a waiting list in place in September. A lot of people came in 2020. So we're honestly not expecting initiation fees. We're budgeting not to have any initiation fees at all this year because of our wait list and because of the amount of people that we have on the golf course right now. I think that's all kind of I wanted to talk about in regards to the income statement. I guess one more thing. Oops, back, Eric. I'm sorry. The contributed revenue, I just want to bring that to everyone's attention. We've had this over the last 3 years, and that is revenue that we have from our donors. So as we incur expenses and fixed assets, our donors have put money at the foundation that we then are reimbursed from the donors who have put the money there for the fixed assets and the renovation of the course. So we took in $1.2 million of that contributed revenue this year in 2020. As Chet has mentioned, we can go for it now. Thanks, Eric. As Chet has mentioned and kind of alluded to it in the financials is all the work that has been put into the course and all the maintenance and the repairs and the additional assets we've had to purchase, such as mowers, items that Eric needs, and leases that we've had to incur. We are going to be raising our monthly dues by 3% beginning June 1st, 2021. This has been a few years since we did it last. And this year, in order to keep everything moving the way it is, we will be doing it again. Our initiation fees as well are going to go up to $22,500. And if we pay, we're also going to give the option to pay over 3 years, and then it would be $25,000. As mentioned in our bylaws that were issued in September, soon after our other meeting, September of 2020, we mentioned in the bylaws that we will be actually adding late fees to any late balances. And those late fees will be 2% on the monthly balance. And this will be after a 30-day period, as it mentions in the bylaws. We are running into some dues that have been perpetually late, and we've rarely made anybody inactive due to that, but it is in the bylaws that if payments are not made within a certain period of time, that you would become inactive and you will not be able to have a tea time. So those bylaws were put together in September, and with Katie on board and the whole staff on board and opening again this year, all of these items will be put into place. But just to reiterate, this isn't going to begin until June 1st. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So thank you.
Okay, one of the things that can be a little confusing when you take a look at the accrued assets, you take a look at the dedicated money that's going to the irrigation system. You look at capital, which is earmarked specifically for capital, not operating. It's important to know that our operating is a break even. We don't generate any money that is beyond what is necessary to run the course. 100% of everything that's generated through Naga, every dime goes to Naga. And as I mentioned a little earlier, we want to make certain that Eric has everything that he needs. He's not frivolous. We scrubbed down his budget. He cuts back on many, many items. So again, it's very closely scrutinized, but it's a self-sustaining business operation. Naga is a ship on its own bottom, and I want to emphasize that there's no huge reserve. There's no monies that are used for anything other than the purposes of the golf course exclusively. And we are carefully audited every year by an outside auditing agency. And we report to the Academy's Board of Control, which reviews the financials on a quarterly basis. And they also review the audited figures at the end of the year. So I don't want anyone to think for a moment that anything is being moved in any direction other than what is absolutely necessary to sustain this beautiful course. But again, if there are any questions, send them in, and I can assure you we'll get back to you with more specifics. Andrew, are you aboard?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes. We really appreciate you and everything you've done. How about a little bit of an overview of just all the good things that have happened?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me tonight. And I'd like to take the time to thank all the members for their patience and also for their great feedback as we've opened the golf course. You know, as the architect, I have an anticipation of the way the golf course is going to play, and especially some of the changes. But it's certainly great to hear feedback, working closely with Eric, listening to different things, whether, you know, small little issues or things that need to be addressed. I think we see the golf course as a continuing, has a continuous evolution to it. And so part of what I wanted to talk about was a few of the things that we've gone ahead and addressed. I think, Eric, you've got a slide for that. So, you know, things like on number 11, putting drainage inside of the tees. You know, during the renovation process, Eric and I talked a great deal about the Bermuda grass and tee construction, and we'd seen neighboring clubs, and I'd had personal experience throughout the Mid-Atlantic where Bermuda grass on a very well drained surface can sometimes struggle, especially in the wintertime. Looking at the 11th tee with its condition kind of recessed where it's not exposed to a lot of wind, with the tree canopies and things, that really felt like installing drainage there was a great move to provide a far superior surface moving to the future. So that was one of the adjustments that we made and something that we responded to. And then I think you've got something up for, on 14, getting the middle tee or kind of the middle forward tee adjusted in size because of the way it's being utilized by the membership with the differing tee markers. It was something that we talked a great deal about as we were laying out the tees, but we tried to anticipate the amount of use it would receive. And as we saw that it was very well loved, that it was something that we needed to go back and expand, and Eric and his team did an amazing job making that adjustment. And I think something that we've talked about and heard, and I heard you know, maybe some questions before we opened on the 12th hole, which obviously is a 3.5, right? But in my mind, it's a 3.5 that's a par 3 instead of a 3.5 that's a par 4. And I really wanted the players to feel like, you know, it was exciting to be successful there, and that it was a longer club in your hand, where there were a lot of holes on the back nine where that's not really the case. So it was an opportunity to kind of introduce that kind of shot. But in listening to the golfers and seeing how the hole is being utilized, I think probably an alternate forward tee is in the offing, and something we may even look at when we're doing the driving range or sometime in the near future, just to give you some more flexibility in how you play it. But hitting a long club, I saw Pat in that picture on his, it was a long club, right, Pat?
I was a driver, but it worked.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So, but, you know, that's the kind of hole that it is that, you know, to be successful, it's a longer club. And I think I mentioned before, and if you hadn't heard me say it, missing long there, I think, is a better miss than anywhere, and pitch back up the slope of the green. At least that was kind of my intention. And then this summer, excited to kind of get into the driving range and cap off really the complete picture for the golf course. The practice facility is kind of a front door for you. It's usually one of the first things that people go to play or warm up before they play. And as you all know, it's a sensitive location there close to the water. So we had to make sure that through the permitting process that we're very responsible in the amount of ground that we're disturbing and the work that we're going to be doing. So starting at the main tee there at the top of the page, you see the kind of dark green rectangle. That represents some new mats being installed. We're going to work to try to angle those and get them in the best position possible, maybe even shifting it a little bit from the way this drawing is showing, but making sure that we really have some first-class mats to go when at times those will need to be utilized, whether it be wet weather, potentially outings, wintertime usage. Having a high-quality mat there would greatly benefit everybody. And then the red dot represents adjusting kind of where the ball machine goes and some of the infrastructure to service the facility. We're going to try to tie that into the hitting center. And then the main driving range tee will be resurfaced, laser leveled, and expanded on its edges to the fullest extent we can within kind of that upper plateau that we have to work with. And then out into the driving range floor, we have 5 targets. Those targets will look a lot like the greens out on the golf course, but will be in a warm season turf. They won't be bent grass. And they'll be shaped so that they receive shots very nicely from both ends, because we are at the bottom of the page, you see there a better practice tee for the golf teams to utilize additional tee space at the rear of the range. So the targets will they'll face each direction. We're going to try to make them as lifelike as possible. My big concern when I'm out there looking at it will be that we don't have such target golf that you can't see balls land adjacent to the green. So that'll be something that we work on in the field. But the idea is just to really elevate this experience and really connect it better to what we did out on the golf course. So Eric, do you want to talk about the timing of that? Sorry.
Yeah, so we're looking at June 14th to start that renovation. And it'll be about a 2-month process. We'll probably, I'd say 3 weeks before then, so probably the end of May, we'll remove the grass that's out there. We're going to do the same process we did to the fairway. So we'll kind of, non-selective herbicide to remove the grass out in the range field. And then like Andrew said, we'll resurface the top tee starting the 14th. I think construction is probably only 2 to 3 weeks. And then the beginning of July, what's not done with the target greens will be a zoysia grass, so it's a little different color, and what's not done with those will sprig with the Tahoma 31, like the fairways and the tees on the golf course throughout the rest of the range. And so that'll give us about 5-6 weeks to grow the grass in on the range, which I think is plenty of time based on what we saw last year with the fairways growing in. So that's kind of timing, middle of June to middle of August, and then basically really have it ready for the golf teams when they come back, so that the golf teams can get out there and use it. And obviously, I think Nadia has always told me really likes to use that back range tee. I think she'll really enjoy having that for the girls to have kind of their own area. And I think too, the Vision have members back there too, private lessons and stuff like that, just to get away from the chaos of the big tee. So it's going to be a great project.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So I don't think you had another slide for me, right?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. So let me just kind of say a few words then in closing. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here tonight and to be part of this team and Naval Academy family there with the golf course. And it's such a huge honor to have been working with you and talking to you about this for a decade and a half, and to see it come together and see it be so well loved and enjoyed. There's no greater success for me than to see it really, that you all are out enjoying the place. And I'm just very proud and humbled to be a part of it, and thank the entire team for all of their hard work and dedication, along with all the individuals that help make it possible, all the donors, the admirals. And I'm here for the long haul. Anytime you need me, I'll be around, and certainly looking forward to this summer getting this driving range right. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Andrew. Really appreciate that, very, very much. And your inspirational leadership, as I mentioned earlier, has been the catalyst on so many different fronts. You're a real pro, no question. Couple things in closing. Number one, I'm not sure, do we have a slide, Eric? Or are we just assuming that Katie will get out information with emails? So there you go. Katie has her email address there. So anyone that has any questions about tonight or further comments, send them in, and I assure you we'll address them. We'll get back to you. Number two, I would be incredibly remiss and I would be disappointed if I had not taken a moment here to thank the advisory committee, which is the conscience of the membership. I rely on them all the time, send information to them, questions, feelers in terms of perspectives, and our advisory committee that is been comprised for many, many years with people that truly love this course, have always been there to assist with the decision-making and help us move this forward. So to all of you on that advisory committee, just know how much you're recognized and appreciated and counted on with your wisdom over the long haul. The other person that is just another inspirational leader is Billy Hurley. What Billy's done for us is, again, he has been a conscience as well. We've bounced so much off of Billy, and we've garnered his intelligence, his perspective. I remember even the sequence of renovation, was something that Billy weighed in on and was very influential. So it's wonderful to have someone as distinguished as Billy in the game of golf that stays so close to a course that he loves, which is his course, his home course here in Annapolis and Naga. So thanks, Billy. You're a key player for us in many ways. Last thing I would say is that there has been a concept that we're kicking around. Could be short-lived. It could get some legs. It all remains to be seen. Andrew is already working on it, and it has to do with the potential, and again, a concept, of possibly expanding another 18 holes. If you take a look at what Andrew has created in terms of an initial impression, it would lay out unbelievably, along Greenberry Point, capitalizing on the terrain and the water and all of the above. So he's worked on a little bit of some thinking. We're keeping it in the context of a concept. There are many, many hurdles to address. Would the Navy allow it? Would they lease us the land? Would the environmentalists approve? Would the critical areas people be comfortable with it? So it's going to take some time to develop a plan, but can't in any way predict the end result. But we are going to launch a study. We are going to look at it. We are going to hire the expertise of some pretty smart people to come in and see if, again, it can be feasible. And that would become a tremendous project, an opportunity to create 36 holes off the Chesapeake Bay. So you'll hear about it. And I just didn't want anyone to jump to any conclusions Again, vision, concept, but ambition. And hey, we expect to win, right? We expect to win. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks very much to everyone. Great to be with you. You know, tonight we can't, because of the format, field questions, but we expect those emails to come in, and we'll look forward to getting back to you with the information that you might be seeking. Thanks, gang. Thanks, everyone. That closes things down. Andrew, hang in there, bud. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Good night,
Thank
gang.
you.